All praises goes to Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai Ba'ashem Kodash. Yahweh is the name of the Most High. Yahweh Shai is the name of the one who did world individually calls Jesus Christ, who is a so-called black man according to the Bible, the KJV Bible. And give double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone that taught me this truth with the spirit and inspiration of Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai. And I give salutations to all the brothers and believing sisters that's in this truth in sincerity and in continual diligence. And I mean that, man. I salute all you brothers out there that's enduring, man. Enduring, you know, in faith, that you don't fall out. Falling out is your worst nightmare. You know, you in the spirit, you're thinking about this kingdom all the time. Because, hell, we need this, man. This is our stability. This faith. This very same mustard seed, this very same little minuscule faith that we have. The foolishness in the eyes of the people, but it's our power. This is our stability. This is our foundation. This is what's going to keep us. You know, this is what keeps us sane. You know, it's crazy. And especially in the times we're in, because we're living in a time where this world is plunging into deeper and deeper chaos. You know, shit is getting worse out here. But people, they don't know what's going on. They don't know what's going on. And, or they might know what's going on. Don't get me wrong, people are not completely stupid. But they're not trying to get proactive. They're not moving in a matter of urgency. They just got a very relaxed, laid back attitude. They don't understand we're in captivity, you know, shit is hard. This life is not easy, you know, trying to make ends meet. You know, you're so burdened with paying rent, paying this, parking tickets, subject to payments, this, that, and the third. Plus you got your own little lusts. You know, you might need a woman and, you know, you can't get a woman. So it's like, you're just frustrated. All kinds of other shit going on. So it's like that kind of distracts you from paying attention to this truth that we're in, man. This truth that we're teaching. It really does like distract you. The world and all the things that are in the world is a distraction. I understand it. But, you know, if you had an option to say, listen, if you really knew what this kingdom, this ministry, this prophesying, and all the things that we're teaching, that we represent right here, if you knew what it was ultimately going to lead to, wouldn't it be worth sacrificing for? If you even knew, if you had any idea what was to come concerning the conclusion of what we're doing and what it will ultimately lead to later on down the line. We're not stupid. We're not just out there for our health, standing out there, you know, prophesying when no one listening. There's a reason why. But anyway, that's not even what I wanted to talk about this session. You know, what I wanted to talk about is, listen, boy, oh boy, you know, things is getting bad and people is like, they don't want to know. The scriptures talk about people being willingly ignorant. People being willingly ignorant. Willingly. You know? Meaning they don't want to know what's going on. They don't want to know because it's like I said, the pressures of life, and it's not the fact that they're weak. It's not the fact that they're stupid or weak. It's just human nature. It's just like something that the Most has put inside of them. The Most has put a spirit inside of them to not wake up. You know, when the scripture says it's high time to awake out of sleep, the Most High don't want them to convert, lest they be healed. The Most High don't want to heal the masses of the people. And this is why that word mass is a word designated to the multitude of the people. And when you look up the word mass, um, the word mass, does the word mass in Christmas means death, as per Roman Catholics? The word mass, M-A-S-S, is strictly a Catholic word, and thus so is Christ Mass. Christ and then Mass. Christmas. Mass in religious usage means a death sacrifice. Right? In essence, the Mass is the ceremonial slaying of Jesus Christ over and over again, followed by the eating of his flesh and the drinking of his blood. Right. So the word mass is a term that defines that now defines the multitude of the people. Why? Because they are it says a death sacrifice. So you talk when they say the multitude of people, it's not like these people are stupid. These people got PhDs, these people got diplomas, these people are far more intelligent than me. Look, I make YouTube videos and I struggle to speak with proper sentences, man. I can't even speak proper like sentences. And I went to uni. I didn't finish it because I didn't see the point of wasting another year of my life doing essays after essays when I could be spending that very same year doing this work, preaching this gospel. Do you understand? Because I knew what was to come back then. My parents didn't understand, but that's them. Anyway. This word mass, a death sacrifice, that means the majority of the people, the Most High is not dealing with them. And when you sacrifice, something, whether it be a person or an animal or whatever have you, when you sacrifice it to your deity, you do that in aims to seek reconciliation with your entity, with your deity, with your God. You seek mercy, guidance, protection. You're seeking some type of way to bridge the gap between you and your maker, right? You and your whatever God you worship, because it wasn't just the Most High, the God of our ancestors that dealt with sacrifice. You got, the idols of the different nations. The nations sacrifice to them too, right? But yeah, so that's the whole purpose of sacrificing, to please that in particular deity or that in particular God that you believe in, right? So the people, the majority of the people, their death is going to please the Most High. Can you imagine that? It's showing you that the Most High is not all about love. But anyway, let's get this. This is Second Ezra's. What the fuck? Oh yeah. Second Ezra chapter 9, verse 20. So I considered the world, and behold, there was peril because of devices that will come into it. Hold on, wait a minute. It says, I considered the world, meaning you got to take a step back. How many of you people out there, you actually meditate? You meditate, you sit back and say, yo, you consider the world, right? You consider what's going on in the media, what's going on to the people, what's happening in relationships between man and woman, what's happening between the relationship between parents and their children, what's going on between different races of people. Despite the whole philosophy of unification and love, is mankind showing love and unification? We're living in a time where, love and acceptance is being promoted. But if you see what's going on, it's nothing but hatred, hostility, distrust, the complete opposite of what the society is supposed to be about, right? A Christian-based society is promoting everything that's anti-Christian, anti-Bible, anti-God, right? So you consider the world and that this place is full up of lies and everything is upside down. And it said, and I said, wait. So I considered the world, and behold, there was peril because of the devices that will come into it. What do I mean by devices? Talking about the works, the inventions, and the counsels that have come into this world. Right? This place is plunging into deeper and deeper chaos and peril because of the works of the people. What did it say? Knowing this, that in the last times, perilous times shall come. And the word peril means a danger. Hold on. Let me look this word up. Come on, dog. Peril. That's perib. Come on, B. Get this right. Definition. Yeah, that's it. Peril definition. Serious and immediate danger. Exposed to danger. Threatened. Right. Exposure to the risk of being injured, destroyed, or lost. Danger, fire, put the city in peril. Something that imperils or endangers. Risk, lessen the perils of the streets. Right. Do you understand? Perilous times shall come because men shall be lovers of their own selves. You know, the works of the people. You consider the world, and listen, I gotta get this fucking thing right, man. Shit, hold on. Let me get this. This is 2 Timothy. You know what I want up. Bring it out. This is 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1. This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come, for men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy. Yeah, you deal with people nowadays, they'll do you dirty and they won't even come back and apologize. Then the person that got wronged in that situation, they harbor hatred in their heart and they want to hurt the next person. You know, hurt people, as they say. Right? Unholy, without natural affection, talking about you got some real sexually deviant people out there. Transgenderism, on the alphabet community, LGBT parades. This is unnatural affection. All right, truce breakers, people that don't keep their oath, that don't keep their word. Yeah, I'll call you, and then they don't. They're supposed to be cool to be like that. Apparently, I don't like people like that. That's like a red flag for me. If I'm dealing with a woman, she says she's gonna call me, she don't. Yeah, and then 2 weeks later, she's got this attitude like, how comes I didn't call? Well, I say, bitch, because you said you was gonna call me. But anyway, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good. So there's a demon inside somebody where you just despise somebody who's good. Can you imagine that? Anyway, traitors, heedy, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of God. You see? So these are the types of people you're going to run into, right? Let me get this one little thing and then I'll go back to the, I'll spend too much time. Right, this is Romans chapter 3, verse 10. As it is written, there is none righteous, no, not one. There is none that understandeth, there is none that seeketh after God. They are all gone out of the way. They are together become unprofitable. There is none that doeth good, no, not one. Their throat is like an open sepulchre. A sepulchre is like a damn cemetery, man. So everything that come out their mouth is just death. Right? With their tongues they have used deceit. The poison of asps is under their lips, whose mouth is full of cursing and bitterness. Their feet are swift to shed blood. Destruction and misery are in their ways, and the way of peace have they not known? What is the way of peace? The way of peace is this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. This is what comforts us. This is what gives us perfect peace and stability, a foundation of full assurance, knowing what is to come, knowing what we're expecting, you know, knowing that the Most High's got our back, you know. So I said, there is no fear of God before their eyes. Yeah, there's no fear of the Most High before their eyes. Just like Abraham, when Abraham went into the land of the Hamites, I believe, right? No, it was in Canaan. Near there, there's some king. There was a king. There's a Hamite king called Ahimelech or Abimelech, and he told Sarah, "Listen, if anybody asks you anything, just say that you're my sister." Because he said, "For surely the fear of God is not in this place." You know. So Abraham was like a pilgrim, a spiritual traveler, venturing into areas that he didn't know. Just like us in the here and now. You know? For surely the fear of the Most High is not in this world. So let's go back. 2nd Ezra 9 and verse 20. So I considered the world, and behold, there was peril because of the devices that will come into it. And I saw and spared it greatly, and have kept me a grape of the cluster, and a plant of a great people. So you have a cluster of grapes. And one grape you're going to keep. A plant of a great people. Who is that great people? That great people is the Israelites. My people. Right? Because when you go into the book of Genesis, it tells you that we waxed great and became a great people, if I'm not mistaken. This is Exodus chapter 1, verse 5. And all the souls that came out of the loins of Jacob were 70 souls, for Joseph was in Egypt already. And Joseph died, and all his brethren, and all that generation. And the children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly and multiplied and waxed exceeding mighty, and the land was filled with them. Right? So that mighty people, or that great people, was us, the Israelites. So this is Genesis 12 verse 1. Now Yahweh had said unto Abram, which is Abraham, get thee out of thy country and from thy kindred and from thy father's house unto a land that I will show thee, which would be the land of Canaan, which later on in time, after that time, this is what I'm saying, I can't even make a fucking sentence. In the times that we're in right now, that land is now called the land of Israel. Verse 2, and I will make of thee a great nation, and I will bless thee and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curseth thee, and in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed. Right, people don't even understand that part about all nations of the earth will be blessed. All nations of the earth will be blessed when we get into power. When we, the Israelites, get into power and make all nations follow the laws and righteous commandments of the Most High, that blessing will come upon all nations through us. You know, the Most High is only dealing with a specific people, that grape of the cluster, which is my people. But even among my people, because the majority of our people, again, like I said, they're willingly ignorant, they're not going to repent. So therefore, death lies at the door for them. So that grape is really talking about the elect, the remnant. So now it says, right, and a plant of a great, let me read that again, verse 21, and I saw and spared it greatly, and have kept me a grape of the cluster, and a plant of a great people, which is the Israelites. Let the multitude perish then, which was born in vain, and let my grape be kept, and my plant for with great labor have I made it perfect. Right? So that shows you that the multitude, they were born in vain. Imagine that. Like, you was born into this world, you've had your relationships, you've been here to, there to, holidays, you've lived your life, you've cried, you've um you've had all kinds of experiences throughout your life, and it was all in vain. Can you imagine that? That's why you gotta fear the Most High, because I don't want my life to have been lived in vain. All the shit that I've been through in my life was for nothing. At least make it have been for something. Repent to show that your life has meaning to it. The majority of the people, their life had no damn meaning. Can you imagine that your life had no meaning? The scriptures. What did I read to you before about the definition of the word mass? Is they're basically a death sacrifice. You know what I mean? So yeah, boy. So we're living in a time where you have to really get familiar with what's going on, and the greatest, the most important thing that a man or a woman could ever do in this life. I'm talking about among our people, so-called black people, and Native American, Hispanic, Latino people. Anybody who descends from those people, this word of salvation, this is for you guys. We labor not for your money, not to get any likes or thumbs up on the comment board, but we do this for your edification, so you can make it, so you can be delivered in a time to come. Because this place is condemned. This place is done. It's in the Bible. I was reading scriptures how to prove that we're living in perilous times. Is this not the case? But then you say, yeah, I know that. But if you know that, why aren't you following it? Why aren't you following it? Why aren't you subjecting yourself to what's written in the Bible? Why aren't you following it? Why aren't you converting to it? Why aren't you taking it seriously? Why are you just going about your business and it's like it just goes through one ear and out through the other if you know it? You don't know it, man. And it's you very same people that the Most High is going to judge. You got this laxy-daisy, this passive attitude towards everything. The Most High is not dealing with that. Okay? Hold on. What the fuck? Hold on. Your whole page. Hold on. Let me get this thing. Right. Let me read this, right? Every day it goes by, we are learning that things are getting even worse than we originally thought. Global supply chains are in utter chaos, and the situation is being aggravated by a number of different factors. So it doesn't seem this crisis will be reversed anytime soon. Right? This was going on. Do people know that? No, they don't. Do they want to know that? No, they don't. Because people don't want to live in fear and panic. Like, they don't want to, like, once you know this stuff, okay, what do we do? What do? You run into the sanctuary. This right here. This is the sanctuary. Repent, man. Ask Yahweh Bashim Yahushai for mercy, guidance, and protection from the times to come. Because all this shit right here, this is going to happen right in your face. Shit is going to get bad. So it says, now widespread crop failures are being registered across several key agricultural countries, and as a result, global supplies of corn, wheat, and soybeans have been shrinking. Now, this is serious. More worryingly, prices for all these three commodities are soaring, and hunger is fast spreading all over the globe, threatening to spark more social turbulence and unrest over the coming months. Those three supplies are the world's most important grains. They are used for almost everything you can imagine, from food for both animals and humans to fuels like ethanol and biodiesel, from cooking oils to wheat for bread and pasta. On top of that, recent reports have been exposing that the impact of the crop failures that happened in China last year have just started to show on global markets. God damn. This is serious, man. China is far from alone. Over the past 17 months, extreme weather has destroyed billions of acres of crops and distressed agricultural production all over the globe. Conditions have been particularly dire in Brazil right now due to unusually dry weather conditions. As a consequence, Brazil's coffee and orange crop are registering a decline for the second consecutive year. Damn. So this is talking about famine. Famine, man. Meaning a severe scarcity of food. This is in the Bible. Pay attention to what I am saying. This is in the Bible. The Bible is a real book of prophecy. The Quran isn't stating any of this. Obviously, this isn't the Bible that the article I was reading. It's not out of the Bible. But all the things that we're reading is in the scriptures. Let's get it. This is bear with me for 1 second. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 17. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? In these days. That's how bad it's going to be. The prophets saw these times and they knew that it was going to get bad. The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death. Famine. I already told you the definition of what that is, and great death. As a result of the famine, people mean the starvation. When people get hungry, that's not when people get hungry, that's when you see the desperation. People are not thinking about buying cars. People are not thinking about clothes. People are not thinking about going to the clubs. They're not thinking about getting wined and dined and going to restaurants. And they're thinking about surviving. They switched into survival mode. When people switch into survival mode, they switch into beast mode. When people switch into beast mode, they switch into bloodshed mode. When people switch into bloodshed mode, all you're seeing is animal. All you see is red. Okay, and a lot of people, this place is for comfortability, man. This place is, the scriptures say that they're gonna be like women. You know? Read on. It says, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear. The beginning of wars. What's happening over there in Israel? What's happening over there in Israel between the Israelis and the Palestinians? And them other Muslim countries, why aren't they backing up Palestine? Aren't they your brothers? Showing you that something else is going on behind the scenes that people aren't aware of. You know, all these bombings, them Israelis been bombing the hell out of them Palestinians. And there's them Palestinians that welcomed the so-called the scum of the cats, man. The Palestinians welcomed them in 1948. And look at the reward that they're showing the Palestinians by bombing them and their children, killing them by the hundreds. You know what I mean? So the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. So the Most High is sending these scourges as an amendment for all the wicked devices that have come into this world. See, this is the Most High balancing everything out. See, when these scourges is coming, be not afraid, because this is the Most High balancing everything back out again. The Most High is rewarding man according to his works. The Most High is bringing justice on planet Earth by bringing these scourges. Right? But for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness. So people are they're not going to be mindful, if it says that, nor be always, but for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. So people are not going to be mindful of the fact that, oh, God is doing this, man. God is doing these things. That God is plunging this earth into chaos because of transgression and the wickedness of the people. That's why the Most High, this is why this is all happening. The Most High making all this shit happen. Okay? So scripture say, verse 21, behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth. Victuals talking about food. Food was cheap, but now prices is going up. Why? Because there's a limited supply of certain foods. So because of that, the prices is going up. Okay? Inflation. Right? So victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case. And even then read that again. And even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. So that isn't this happening right now? Great confusion. People are they're confused on whether there's an actual virus. People are still debating, is there an actual virus? Some people are like, still, yeah, there's a virus. My auntie died of the virus. And I'm like, yeah, but I've got a low immune system. I've been walking around fine, man. I haven't died. I haven't caught nothing. People are confused about, the media's telling the people one thing, and then there's other low-key video clips of people in India saying, listen, don't listen to the media about people dropping dead in India because we're perfectly fine. I just received a video clip just now of a guy. Let me see if I can show it, man. Shit. Oh no. This is on that phone. Oh, I can't even show it then. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. There's one video clip of one guy. He basically tells, listen, man, the people in India are fine. The people is going about their business. It's not true. You know? So there's a lot of confusion. I thought it was in this form. It's in this form. So I can't show it. But you know, it talks about in great confusion. Hold on. Right, stop. Yeah, anyway. Oh shit. Oh no. Hold on, I have to get this article back. All right. Here we are. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So now we're back. Right. Second Ezra 16, verse 22. For many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. So, wow, we know what's going to happen. The scriptures say a lot of people, because of the food shortages that's happening, is going to get worse. The scripture says evil shall grow. And the word evil means bad times. So the bad times will grow. It will get worse and worse to the point where people are literally going to start dying because of the food shortage. Right? For many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine. This is globally. Globally. Not just in America, because the mega drought is happening over there in the east coast of America, right? That Cali, them sides there, them states, them eastern states, west. What I'm talking about, the western states. What am I talking about? The western states of USA is experiencing a mega drought. Okay, and a lot of them rivers and the dams are drying up, right? Without rain, how are you gonna grow your crops? Wheat, corn, all these other things. It's gonna mess up your agriculture. It's gonna mess up a lot of things. And water, like I already said, is very important for cleanliness, for cleaning the environment. And without that, that's one of the many plagues that the Most High will bring. It's even in the scriptures. You know, that if we don't keep the commandments, the Most High will shut up the heavens and there'll be no rain. Rain is very important, right? Even though it can be very annoying because, it stops me from going out there and teaching His word. But anyway, right. For maiden that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. The sword is talking about the thermal nuclear missiles. Okay, the sword, the glittering sword. You can read about that in Ezekiel 34. Let me just get this for edification's sake. It's Isaiah 34, verse 3. Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. Remember, it says the word melted. Melted meaning talking about nuclear destruction, right? And the mountains being melted, talking about the powers that be, the governmental structures of the world, all right? And all the host of heaven shall be dissolved. The host talking about the armies and militaries of this age, this time. The heavens talking about this rulership, because you got the heavens talking about the spiritual world, and you got the heavens talking about the sky and space, and then you got the scriptures talk about the first heaven and the first earth, talking about this rulership, this age, right? So all the host of heaven shall be dissolved. Again, nuclear destruction. And the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll. The heavens shall be rolled, because when the missiles hit ground zero, the mushroom cloud, the smoke come up and it rolled together. Okay? Shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their host, their militaries, their armies, shall fall down as the leaf falleth off from the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree. And again, that talks about Lucifer being cast down out of heaven into the earth. That's what that metaphoric expression was referring to. They're talking about Esau's power being destroyed. Okay? Because Lucifer is talking about the enlightened ones. It's not talking about the spiritual demon Satan. The Luciferians, or the people in power, are Luciferians, the enlightened ones, the people that rule and govern this present time and world. When you go into Isaiah, the 14th chapter, I'm not gonna go there because I don't want to jump around. Should I go there? Let me go there. Okay, let me go there. Just so I don't just sound like I'm making it up. It's Isaiah 14, verse 11. Thy pomp is brought down to the grave, like I was reading before in Isaiah 34. And the noise of thy vows, the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. Talking about the degradation, the erosion of this society. This place is eroding by and by. Worms represent decay. This place is decaying on an infrastructure level, agricultural level, on a social level, on a moral level. This place is decaying, right? Verse 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer? Heaven representing rulership. The word Lucifer means a light bearer. The light bearers of this time, the ones who are in power right now, using their wisdom and philosophy and their understanding of things, is the so-called white people then. O Lucifer, son of the morning, how art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? So the spiritual demon Satan didn't weaken the nations. Who weakened the nations? Who weakened the East Indians, the Chinese, the Japanese? Who weakened the indigenous Africans? Who weakened our people? The so-called white man, right? So let's go back. Isaiah 34, verse 4. And all the host of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, like I just mentioned. And all their hosts shall fall down as the leaf falleth off from the vine, and as a fallen fig from the fig tree. For my sword, remember, shall be bathed in heaven. The nuclear missiles is going to syringe this place with destruction. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and the people of my curse to judgment. Idumea is the Greek way of saying Edom, the Edomites. Who are the Edomites? The red people, so-called white people. Their time is ending. And the Most High is bringing plagues upon this place. All right? Yeah, that's that. And that's why I said, those that escape the famine, 2 Ezra 16, verse 22, for many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. The nuclear missile is going to destroy them. If you escape the famine, if you might think that, yeah, I made it, I'm eating, I'm nice. Because you might find some food, you be a 2/3. You're not of the elect though. And so you think you made out eating food, you nice. Everyone else, they're dying and just rummaging around for food. They can't find nothing. You found a little bit of food, but guess what? Most have got a nuclear missile with your name written on it. You know, the wicked will not go unpunished. Though hand join in hand, the wicked will not go unpunished. Right? The Most High is good. And if the Most High is good, the Most High hates sinners. You know, he hates those that don't repent. That's what I'm saying. This is very important. While we're out here, the Most High has put the Spirit upon certain men, black men, Latino, Hispanic men, to stand out there in your streets and to persuade you to salvation, because even in the midst of all these perils and troubles, there is a light at the end of the tunnel for that grape of the cluster. Certain of you that can hear and humble yourselves and suffer yourselves to let young men like us educate you on the way to make it. Because you can't do it by yourself. You need teachers. Same way I was taught. I had to humble myself. And most I don't like pride. Okay, that's what scripture I was gonna get. Hold on, I want to get this one first. Hold on. That's not the one about the storehouses shall be. I want to get the one about the storehouses. I think this is the one. Hold on. Yeah, this is 2 Esdras chapter 6. Verse 17. Hear this, right? Hear this. 42 minutes. And it happened that when I had heard it, I stood up upon my feet and hearkened, and behold, there was a voice that spake, and the sound of it was like the sound of many waters. Yahweh Shai. That's our Messiah, right? And it said, behold, the day is come that I will begin to draw nigh and to visit them that dwell upon the earth. Jeez. You should be scared. Hey, this Bible is speaking, bro. The Bible is speaking. The time's going to come where our Messiah is going to visit them that dwell upon the earth. The ultimate judge is going to make his grand entrance into planet earth. The scripture says, and the tribes, all the tribes of the earth shall wail because of him. You know? And I will begin to make inquisition of them, what they be that have hurt unjustly with their unrighteousness, and when the affliction of Zion shall be fulfilled. This is why it's so important to keep righteousness right in here and now. Because you're going to get judged for your wickedness, man. You're going to receive a reward for your ungodly works. The scripture said, what they say, it says, and I will begin to make inquisition, a searching, a diligent search of them, what they be that have hurt unjustly with their unrighteousness. And when the affliction of Zion shall be fulfilled. Who's Zion? Us. So when Yahweh Shai comes, that's when our affliction is at an end. It's done. No more slavery for us, no more death for us. No more rebuke, no more no more reproach for our people, no more curse. All that will be swallowed up in the victorious arrival of our Messiah. But let's read on, man. It says, and when the world that shall begin to vanish away shall be finished, then would I show these tokens, right? This world, meaning this time that we're in. So that's why you're not meant to invest in a ship that's sinking, man. Our people are doing it just that. They're investing in this place. Dreams and ambitions of what they want to be, and they're not even paying attention to what's going on. So it said, the book shall be opened before the firmament, and they shall see all together. What are you going to see? You're going to start seeing these prophecies. They're going to speak and not lie. And the children of a year old shall speak with their voices. The woman with child shall bring forth untimely children of 3 or 4 months old, and they shall live and be raised up. Yeah, because in the modern day and time, you got premature births. Like my younger brother, he's premature. You know, a child is meant to spend like 9 months within the womb of his or her mother before they're born. Well, you got children that can come out before that time. A little tiny little fetus almost looking baby can live. They've got the devices to actually make that happen in these hospitals. Esau can do that. So it says, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, the full storehouses, yeah, shall suddenly be found empty. Food supply shortage, man. Food supply shortage, which is going, that's the famine. That's the famine. Many shall die of famine, and they that escape the famine shall the nuclear missile destroy. So it said, wait, that's not that. Hold on, let's go back. And the trumpet shall give a sound, and when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. Yeah, that's these judgments. That's these judgments. And people are going to suddenly be afraid. When Yahweh comes with that last trump, every eye shall see him. At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. Exactly. A time's going to come where these fountains, this word, this fountain of life will stop running. We're not going to be out here prophesying in the time of great tribulation. The scripture said there's going to be a famine of the word. The same way there's going to be a famine of food. How can we prophesy when we can't eat? When you can't eat? When there's famine out here, we ain't going to be out here prophesying. There's going to be a famine of the word. Something's going to happen in society where all this is going to trigger. This is all, this is a variety of different things that's happening, which is going to lead to the collapse of this economy. Okay? Hyperinflation, food shortage, rioting, protesting is getting out of hand. Okay? All types of other things. Harsh weather conditions, war. Okay, this Third World War, the so-called pandemic, epidemic viruses. So all these things is a various amount of things that's all going to lead to the end of this time. And you have to be, and a lot of our people are not being wary of these things. They're hearing of these things, but they're not thinking, how can we overcome these things? The one way to overcome this is by coming into this and getting spiritual. Because this world has taught our people to be carnal and to think and trust in things that they can physically appear. Because Esau is a man of carnality. He's a man that doesn't believe in God. Do you understand? He doesn't believe in the Most High. Bear me for 1 sec. Psalms 14 verse 1. The fool has said in his heart, there is no God. They are corrupt. They have done abominable works. There is none that doeth good. Remember I told you that I considered the world and peril was come because of the devices that will come into it. That's talking about the works of the people. The abominable works of the people. Why? Because mankind does not fear the Most High. They don't believe in the Most High. Because what manner of person the leader is, so are the people. The manner of Esau is that he don't believe in God. Excuse me, my nose is... Right? So are all they that follow his philosophy. They've been made drunk with his wine. So our people have been taught not to trust in the Most High. But we, the prophets of Yahweh Hashem Shai, we're here to re-educate and to brainwash our people in the ways of righteousness. You understand? That's right. So verse 2, the Lord or Yahweh, Psalms 14 verse 2, Yahweh looked down from heaven upon the children of men to see if there were any that did understand and seek God. They are all gone aside. They are all together become filthy. There is none that doeth good. No, not one. Have all the workers of iniquity no knowledge, who eat up my people as they eat bread and call not upon Yahweh? You see? But when the Most High looked down from heaven upon the children of men to see if there were any that did understand and seek the Most High, that's us. What did it say in the New Testament? It says, when the Lord comes, shall he not find yet faith on earth? But faith that's a special gift given unto the elect men. Let me get there. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 14. Let me start from verse 13. Their offspring is cursed, wherefore blessed is the barren that is undefiled, which have not known the sinful bed. Right? So we're the undefiled ones. We haven't known a sinful bed. And we haven't made love with other philosophies and other idols. Right? She shall have fruit in the visitation of souls. Meaning we're going to have works. We're going to have works that have pleased the Most High when Yahweh Shai visits the earth that was made, man. And blessed is the eunuch which with his hands have wrought no iniquity. We're the eunuch. Because we haven't deflowered, we haven't had sex and made love with other philosophies. The philosophies of this world. This is the one philosophy. This is our woman. Right? And blessed is the eunuch which with his hands have wrought no iniquity. Iniquity is sin upon sin. So we haven't transgressed the Most High's laws and commandments by, diving into other philosophies and setting our minds upon things of the world. Because again, covetousness, that is sin when you go in the scriptures. Right? Nor imagined wicked things against God. For unto him shall be given the special gift of faith and an inheritance in the temple of the Lord more acceptable to his mind. For glorious is the fruit of good labors, and the root of wisdom shall never fall away. Right. So the main point is that his faith is a special gift. So you got to cherish it. You got to cherish this gift. You got to treasure it. You got to treasure it, man. This is me going off of my sentences again. You got to treasure this gift of insight, even though it's very plain unto us. Is a stumbling stone unto the wicked, the majority of our people. You have to get spiritual in this time. You have to get spiritual. It's very important. You have to, because this is going to be our state. This is our stability. This is our stability. Okay? This is our stability. This is our stability. Our people, and when they walk past us, it's like they are lost. They are lost. Okay? But anyway, oh yeah, there's two more scriptures I want to bring out. So speaking about this famine thing, right? There it is. 2 Ezra 15, verse right, damn. Woo, some good precept here. I don't know where to start. Let me start from verse 12. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that God shall bring upon it. They that till the ground shall mourn, for their seeds shall fail through the blasting and hail, and with a fearful constellation. Right, the farmers of modern day Egypt, which is America, spiritual Egypt. When you go into Revelations 11, spiritual Sodom and Gomorrah, spiritual Egypt. The Most High's blasting the agriculture with mega drought, right? Wildfires, harsh weather conditions, snowstorms, and this is all affecting food manufacture, and that's gonna cause a delay in wheat production, soybeans, coffee in Brazil, right? Coffee beans in Brazil, corn, you know what I mean? And water. Water is also being blasted too, because the water when that snowstorm hit, a lot of water froze up. A lot of water in the water pipes froze up. So there was a big chaos going down because of that, right? So reading on, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. That's everybody. That's even us. Woe even unto us. What did Ezra say? Woe is me, woe is me. So that's even unto the Most High's righteous elect. Woe unto the whole world, all the inhabitants. So we better pray that the Most High gonna guide us in this time. Because boy, oh boy, even though we're smiling right now and I got food right there, that's got some Jamaican food right there. So we've got food right now, but guess what? We got the scripture saying, when you're full, think upon hunger and need. You know, when you eat your bread with carefulness, man. Because the Most High is bringing these plagues, and the evils are gonna grow. So it said, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. What's going over there in Israel? What's going over there in Israel right now? People the Palestinians are crying and lamenting, and the Israelis don't look like, reports are saying that they are stopping from bombing them. They're killing off their kids, bombing hospitals, bombing their buildings with their living accommodations. They don't care. So, right, for there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Sedition means rising up against. People are rising up against their government. They do not trust their governments. They haven't even put this on the media. People are still protesting about wearing face masks. They're still protesting in London, but they don't put it on. They don't put it on the media. They don't want people to panic, so they don't. And there's thousands of people marching against wearing face masks, but they don't put it on the media. So this is sedition. People are rising up against this, the whole world. Rioting and protesting, uproars of the people. So it says, verse 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Why can't he be able to go into a city? Why? Because martial law. Warlike law. A time's going to come where the militaries of the world are going to come down on their own citizens. Their own citizens. Declaring war against their own people. And I can see that coming. The way people are protesting, and the super elite, they've got their agenda. They do not care about the people. They see the people as a problem. They wanted to kill the people. That's all these guys like Kill Gates of Hell, Bill Gates, Kill Bill. All these eugenicists. They all have meetings, councils, where they discuss depopulation, getting rid of the mass majority of the people. Because they're greedy. You know, you got to feed them. You know, they keep moaning and complaining. They keep protesting. So let's get rid of them, innit? And all the food and agriculture, yes, use that for ourselves. We don't have to give it to the multitude of people. The people that are in power do not care about the average citizen. So that's why it says there's going to be a martial law, warlike law. That's what the word martial law means. Right? Verse 18. For because of their pride, and when it says desire to go into a city shall not be able, a people from one state won't be able to travel into another state. Or people from one area won't be able to travel into another area. Why? Because they'll say, oh, the variant East Indian variant was found in this state. So people in this state, you can't travel there because you might come into encounter the Indian variant in that state. You know, so they're gonna use some justification for bringing out this martial law. Anyway, verse 18. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Grown men. So we know this is a bad time that's coming. A bad time that's going to get real. And if men are going to be afraid, how much more the women and children? How much more the elderly, the sickly, the homeless? How much more them? A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. What else can I say? What else can I say? It said, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. I mean, he's in survival mode. He's in animal beast mode. He's not even having empathy for the next man. He's thinking about feeding his belly. And most likely, he's not thinking about feeding his kids. You're going to have certain men that are going to kill their kids and their wives. I think that's happened in certain movies. You know what I mean? What did that happen? What movie was that? I'm thinking about 13 Days of Night with that man, because the vampires, there was no sun for 13 days, and the vampires was killing everybody. And there's one guy, he killed his whole family because he didn't want the vampires to kill him. But I don't think that's a good example. But you know, you have examples where so-called white men don't do that. They'll wipe out their whole family. You know, so times like that's coming. Then he'll put the gun on himself and kill himself. You know, a man shall not pity upon his neighbor, but will destroy the house with the sword because of the lack of bread, because of no food. Because of no food. Food shortages is a real thing. Right now, it hasn't happened yet, but look, watch. There's going to be another lockdown. When another lockdown happens, hey, you know, like I said, the one thing that's going to keep you stable in this time is this faith. Is this faith. You know, getting spiritual. But anyway, with that, Shalom.